He's a person that makes everyone around him better. I don't think he's just an MVP on game day. His whole process leading up to the games is MVP caliber. Always the first one in the building, always the last one leaving the building, watching film, and then his energy at practice, making sure people running the routes right, putting the energy out. When people ask me in week 9 why I thought Dak was going to be an MVP candidate, I've seen the work. And the gear he's putting together, we're going to be looking at one of the richest men in America. I know Dak's going to take care of me for the rest of my life because I'm supporting him. Thank you, Dak. I'm going to let you adopt me since you're having a daughter here in March.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. After hearing what Micah Parsons had to say about Dak Prescott and his impact not only on the field, but around that whole complex, I think I may prefer a game manager versus a game changer. Now, stay with me, because not only does NFL history show us that someone that's considered a game manager leads you to success more times than not over a person that's considered a game changer. First things first, be sure to follow me on X at Dak Attack Show. The first thing I want to look at is a list of all the recent Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, or really all the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in general. And I'm going to name these guys off, and I want you guys to play a game with me as I'm naming these guys off. I want you to count on your hands how many of these guys you would consider game changers versus a game manager. Now, it's already been discussed that a game changer would be someone that's able to operate outside of a scheme or operate off schedule, right? And to be honest, it mainly seems like they're talking about guys that are dual threat quarterbacks, even though Cam Newton did throw Joe Burrow's name in there as far as a game changer, when if we look at the numbers, which we're about to, Joe Burrow and who Dak Prescott has been over his entire career are not all that dissimilar. But first, let's do this little exercise. Super Bowl 57, Patrick Mahomes. I would probably consider him a game changer more than a game manager, right? I can agree with that one. He has more of a flashy play style. It's unconventional, it's unorthodox, and he does some things that you probably wouldn't want to teach a quarterback to do if you're trying to train a guy how to play the position, right? So Patrick Mahomes, probably a game changer. Super Bowl 56, Matthew Stafford, definitely a game manager. Super Bowl 55, Tom Brady, game manager. Hey, Cam Newton's words, not mine. He's the one that called Tom Brady a game manager. Super Bowl 54, Patrick Mahomes again, game changer. 53, Tom Brady, game manager. 52, Nick Foles, definitely a game manager. 51, Tom Brady, game manager. 50, Peyton Manning, game manager. 49, Tom Brady, game manager. 48, Russell Wilson, game manager. 47, Joe Flacco, game manager. 46, Eli Manning, game manager. 45, Aaron Rodgers, probably more of a game changer. 44, Drew Brees, game manager. 43, Ben Roethlisberger, game manager. 42, Eli Manning, game manager. 41, Peyton Manning, game manager. 40, Ben Roethlisberger, game manager. 39 and 38, Tom Brady, game manager. 37, Brad Johnson, game manager. We can skip to 35, Trent Dilfer, game manager. Hell, 34, Kurt Warner, game manager. 33, 32, John Elway, game manager. Tremendous talent all over the field that he had to manage the use of. 31, Brett Favre, I would probably say more of a game changer style player. 30, Troy Aikman, game manager. 2 more Super Bowls with Troy Aikman, game manager. Y'all see where I'm going with this? It actually seems like, as far as team success goes, you would much rather have a game manager than you would have a game changer playing that quarterback position. And remember, one of the genius things that Mr. Newton said on his clarification of his original statement made as it pertains to Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Tua, and all these other guys being game managers, is teams aren't looking to draft the next Dak Prescott. They're looking for the next game changer. They're looking for the next Cam Newton or Lamar Jackson type of player. But is that actually true? Because this year's rookie, let's go ahead and bring it back to 2023, this year's rookie class, the best quarterback in that entire class was compared to none other than one Rayne Dakota Prescott as his pro comp coming out of college. And I'm talking about none other than CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's biggest pro comp was Dak Prescott or a Jared Goff, however you want to slice it. Either one of those guys fits into that game manager category that you so elegantly put them into, Cam. And it's very interesting to see that you said that teams are looking for the next Cam or the next game changer whenever CJ Stroud is undoubtedly the best quarterback in this year's draft. And who is he compared directly to? One Dak Prescott. Very interesting. And his NFL.com pro comp was Jared Goff. Very interesting, huh? Okay, we're talking about Super Bowls. Football is the ultimate team sport, and obviously wins are a team statistic. So we can't use Super Bowls as the end-all be-all for what is a great quarterback in the National Football League, right? Because these guys are parts of great teams that won the Super Bowl together, until you realize that when you take a look at the all-time all-pro ranking list, what kind of quarterback do you think has the most all-pro selections? And it's not even close, actually. It's Peyton Manning, the ultimate game manager, according to some, like Cam Newton. The ultimate game manager, Peyton Manning. And Dak Prescott's closest pro comparison as of right now in this stage of his career, Peyton Manning is who he most plays similarly to, right? Coming out of college. I'm about to show you this in a second. But this is why all these labels and everything else, that stuff doesn't matter, because even if you've played the game or you work around the game, that doesn't mean you always know what you're talking about. And we're about to take a prime look at one of those types of examples. But Peyton Manning has been voted to the most all-pro teams. Oh, I'm not going to show you just one player. We're going to scroll down a little bit more. Who do you think is next on this list? I'll give you a hint. He played for the Indianapolis Colts way before any of us were born. Johnny Unitas is the next one on that list. More of a pocket passing type of QB. Then we scroll down some more, and the next quarterbacks that we're going to see here is Sid Luckman and Tom Brady, another game managing style quarterback. And then we finally get to the first group of guys that you would probably consider more so game changers than game managers. We have Dan Marino, Steve Young, and Brett Favre, all at 6 all-pro selections. So while there are some game changers that are up here on this list, there's one very important thing I want to point out about these quote-unquote game changers. They weren't the type of game changers that you were, Cam Newton. There's levels to everything. Cam Newton, you could not throw a ball nearly as well as a Steve Young, a Brett Favre, or Dan Marino. And 2 of those guys weren't even known for using their legs. They're actually pocket QBs who understand how to play the position and actually try to, pass the ball like a quarterback does. Steve Young was also a pretty good passer of the ball, but he was also more of a dual threat quarterback. So I'll give you that one, Cam. And I think based on him putting Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and those types of guys in that game manager mode, I would probably think that Joe Montana would go there as well, right? But either way, based on a Super Bowl champion list, which is indicative of team success, and then based off of an all-pro list, which is indicative of personal success, it seems like game manager style quarterbacks are the ones that have had the most success, period, in the National Football League. And see, this is exactly why I say maybe we need to change the way we think about game managers and actually think about the people that are labeled as game changers as being more of a liability, more of a risk, more of a type of player that you can't necessarily trust, because not all change is good. Just because you're a game changer doesn't mean you're going to change the game for the better. Sometimes Josh Allen being a game changer leads to interceptions or fumbles. Sometimes Cam Newton trying to be a game changer would lead to injuries, concussions, bad shoulders, fumbles, interceptions, bad reads of the defense, an inability to deal with 3rd and longs and blitzes, as you yourself has stated.
It's confidence builders. Now you're throwing the ball out on smoke screens. You're throwing the ball out on bubble screens. You're throwing the screens. You're throwing this. You're throwing that. But at the same time, when it's time for him to say, this is a Justin Fields moment, get the fuck out of his way.
Yeah.
He's now fresh to do that. Rather than, I would hate systems like this. Hand the ball off 1 yard. Hand the ball off again, a negative 2 yards. Now it's 3rd and 12.
Yeah, always behind.
And I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not that guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you got these exotic blitz packages where it's like, hold on, set wide. Hey, hold on. Hey, 52's the mic here. Why they easy? No. Hey, 38's to Mike. Hey, let's rover to 52. It's too much.
Right.
Maybe we need to look for the guy that knows how to run the entire building, that knows how to keep the entire restaurant operating versus just that amazing line cook that can get dishes out fast. Because to me, that's what a game changer is. So you see, I think I would rather have someone that's looked at as more of a manager. But let's go ahead and, for the sake of comparison, I brought up Joe Burrow earlier because Cam Newton, in naming his list of game-changing quarterbacks, he named Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. Now, 2 of these guys have won championships, in Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. The other 3 guys are up for debate. 2 of them are dual-threat style quarterbacks in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, so it wouldn't really be fair to compare them to Dak Prescott. So the only guy I have left to really compare them to is Joe Burrow. Now, what's interesting is if you look at the direct comparison between these 2 players, the results may shock you a little bit. Now, I don't really care about the overall stats because these are just blanket stats, and those are really mainly box score deals. You can look at this and find this on pretty much any site. The one thing that is noticeable is that for a career, Dak Prescott does have a higher career quarterback rating than that of Joe Burrow at 99.0, where Joe Burrow is at 98.6. But this isn't a thing about trying to make Dak Prescott look like a better quarterback than Joe Burrow. What I wanted to show you guys was these 2 players are incredibly similar pretty much across the board, guys. All right. If we look at completion percentages, Joe Burrow has Dak Prescott slightly by roughly about 1 percentage point, 68% completion. Dak Prescott is rolling at a 66.9% completion. Touchdown percentage, Joe Burrow's at 5.1 of his passes result in a touchdown when attempting a pass. Dak Prescott's at 5.2% of his passes result in a touchdown when attempting a pass. This is a very, very close touchdown percentage. Interception percentage, Joe Burrow's at 2%. Dak Prescott is at 1.9%. Again, damn near identical. Yards gained per pass attempt, Joe Burrow is at 7.4. Dak is at 7.6. Again, damn near identical. Adjusted yards gained per pass attempt, Joe Burrow's at 7.58. Dak's at 7.8. Again, very, very close. Yards gained per pass completion, Joe Burrow's at 10.9, Dak's at 11.4. All of those values are extremely close across the board. And then if we take a look at some of the advanced metrics like air yards, these are even extremely close. Intended air yards per pass attempt, Joe Burrow is at 7.4, Dak is at 6.1. But then if we get completed air yards per completion, we have Joe Burrow at 5.6, Dak at 6.5. Then we have completed air yards per pass attempt, Joe Burrow's at 3.8, Dak's at 4.9. Then we have yards after catch per completion, Joe Burrow's at 5.3, Dak's at 4.9. Then we look at the advanced passing accuracy statistics. Joe Burrow has a 5.3 drop percentage, meaning his receivers dropping balls at a 5% rate when he throws it to them. Dak Prescott, 5.2. Again, damn near identical. Bad throw percentage, Joe Burrow has 13% of his throws are bad throws. Dak Prescott has 11.2% of his throws are bad throws. And this one, I got to give Joe Burrow some credit. This shows that he's deadly accurate. On target percentage, 78.6. Dak Prescott is 47.1. And just so it doesn't really sound terrible, so you think that Dak Prescott is just a terrible passer of the ball. No, actually, that on target percentage for Dak is actually extremely high. We'll put him probably in the top 5 or 6 in the National Football League with on-target percentage. Joe Burrow's on-target percentage is just absolutely ridiculous. So I wanted to make sure to give him credit for that because that is quite impressive. But all in all, literally, you can see across the board, these guys are almost the same exact type of player, yet for some reason, one of them gets labeled a game changer and the other one gets labeled as a game manager. And I know it's very easy for the uninformed fan to immediately go back to, oh, well, Dak hasn't gotten the Cowboys anywhere. He's been the quarterback for 8 years. Hey, stupids. I don't know if you just started watching football this year or not, but that same story played out with Peyton Manning. That same story played out with Drew Brees. That same story has played out with a ton of other amazing quarterbacks that really didn't start seeing their most success until after their age 30 years. So, either way, the point still stands. Why does someone like that get labeled a game manager when we have people like Joe Burrow being labeled a game changer? And albeit Joe Burrow on the heels of his defense and his kicker, did get his team to a Super Bowl and lose. But as far as what story their career resumes tell, these guys are almost the same type of player. I would say that's pretty good for someone whose NFL comparison was Brett Huntley and was projected as being an average backup or special teamer in the National Football League. Regardless of what you want to call Dak Prescott, he has 100% fought against the odds his entire career, and he's proven a whole bunch of people wrong, and he's going to continue to prove a whole lot more people wrong, regardless of who it is, whether it's a salty analyst on TV that's never really had a successful snap in his entire NFL career, or it's a salty former NFL quarterback who still wants a position on the team but was out of the league by age 32 because he didn't really understand how to read a defense, and he never got better from what he was coming out of college and relied solely on his athletic ability to get him through his career. Regardless of who it is, Dak Prescott is going to continue to prove all of these people wrong, and I'm going to be the first to say it. Maybe it's better to have a game manager than a game changer. Either way, y'all always end these videos how them Cowboys, and I'll see you guys on.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.